Amigos, today we have an exciting VFX tutorial and it should be part of your skill set. And this is Lock-On Stabilization. I'm gonna give you a lot of tips and techniques that you can use on any type of footage. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be 1080, even 720p. And you're interested in sports, motion graphics, VFX, check out my masterclass. And remember that life is truly a gift. Make it count. The media team for the Boston Celtics shot their own clips, which explains why the quality is way much better. But you can still achieve the same results even getting clips from YouTube. And for this example, all of the shots were taken from YouTube, from the NBA's YouTube channel, just looking for Jaime Jaquez Jr. highlights. For example, this one, just clicked on it, grabbed, copied the URL, and then I have 4K Video Downloader, which is a free app that you can download videos from YouTube. Just paste the link. From here, high definition download. Now, it won't be the best quality, even though it's 1080, but with this technique that I'm about to show you, you can still pull it off. Once I downloaded the clips from YouTube, you can open the editing software of your choice. I'm using Premiere and just did a little reel of Jaime. Now, the trick though is to find clips where the ball is near the center of the frame. You don't want anything too close to the edge of the frame because once you apply the stabilization, you'll have a lot of missing pixels. Now, in this case, I really love this shot of him. It went really well. And you can see that the ball is near the edge. I'm going to have to come up with some missing pixels once I stabilize this shot. But in this tutorial, I'll show you what you can do for those special cases. And once you're done, you can just export it. What I did was just exported this as an MP4. Next step is let's hop into After Effects and let's pull off this VFX. Okay, amigos, hit Control-I or Command-I to import the footage that you just exported. In my case, it is this clip. I'm going to hit Import, select it and hit Import. And then let's drag it to this button, New Composition, from Footage to create a new composition. Now, since it is one file, what we need to do is just splice it into the different clips. And what I'm going to do is just show you quickly how to do that. To go frame by frame, Control or Command if you're using an Apple computer. So Control or Command and the right arrow key on your keyboard will go forward one frame. If you want to go backwards, just hold on to Control or Command and the left arrow. But let's go frame by frame so we can get the right frame right here. So at this point, Control-Shift-D or Command-Shift-D to splice this layer. And let's do this for the other clips. Let's see right here. Let's splice it. Let's keep going. Splice. And one more. Let's go frame by frame, splice. Okay, now we have our 5 different clips. If you want, you can rename this, for example, clip 1. This could be clip 2. This one will be clip 3. This one 4. And this one 5. Okay, now for the lock-on stabilization, I'm only going to do it on one of them, but it's the same process for the other ones. So let's start with this shot. What you want to do is we want to double click on this layer to jump into the layer window. So let's go back. We were previously in the composition window, but when you double click here, the footage, it'll jump into the layer window. Once we're in the layer window, just make sure you have the tracker tools on. And now what we want to do is click on Stabilize Motion. Let me zoom in. Now we have 2 boxes. Now we can scale each one independently. We can stretch it out. And when you hold on to Shift, you make it a perfect square. And let's go to this inner square. So this is the area. This first square will be the area that we want to track or the pixels that we want to track. Generally, any pixels that have contrasting colors or an edge or a corner will work perfectly. And this second box is the search area that After Effects is going to search for among every single frame. So it's going to look, if we make this big, it's a bigger search area, but it will take longer for it to do its work. So what I'll do is I'm going to cheat it, and I'm going to make this the size, this inner square, the size of the basketball, and I can make this smaller. Again, I'm holding on to shift. Ideally, you're working on a corner. For example, you see where it says Ticketmaster. If I go here, and that corner between the white and the blue, or this light blue, that would be a perfect example to use this tracker. But I'm going to use it a little different in this case for this lock-on stabilization for the basketball. I'm going to do it the size of the ball. Now, once you have this set up, you have your controls to analyze forward automatically or one frame. Now, this isn't the best footage. This is from YouTube. You can see it's pixelated. There's the shutter, you have the shutter speed, a lot of motion blur, right? It's a low shutter speed, lots of motion blur. It's very pixelated. So I recommend going frame by frame because the tracker will slip, and I'll show you what you can do when it slips. So I'm clicking here frame by frame. So far, so good. And let's move this. By the way, if you hold on to spacebar, you get the hand tool, which is right here. The spacebar is for the hand tool, and you can just move this around so you can reposition this. So let's keep going. See, right here is slip. So what you can do is you can actually click inside, click here, and then using the arrows on your keyboard, you can nudge this into place. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put this inner box at the boundaries of the basketball, so I know it's always going to be in the center. So let's keep going, and that's okay. What I can do now is I can make this a little bigger if I want, and then maybe nudge it down. Keep going. See, now we need to nudge it down. You can also move it with your mouse too. So you have those two options. You can move it. You can reposition with the mouse, or you can use the keys on the keyboard. Now, if we go to the clip and I hit U to reveal all the keyframes, let me move this up so we can see this. Let me zoom in. You can see that it's adding these keyframes. So let's keep going. Here it slips, so let's just reposition this. Again, you're going to have to do, actually for this one, I did it quite a few times. I had to go and reposition this by hand. Now the clip for the Celtics, they shot it. Like I mentioned, they shot that. So they had more control. Maybe I'm thinking it was easier for them to do this effect. Although this is not that hard. It's just a little more time consuming because you have to manually give After Effects an assist. No pun intended, but give After Effects an assist and just reposition this tracker. So let's go ahead and let me nudge it into place. So this might take a little bit of time, but it'll be well worth it. Okay, now at this point, what I'm going to do is, this is what we have so far. Let's go ahead and let's analyze automatically forward and see what we get. It's going pretty good. Let's keep going. And then you see at the end, it slipped. So what we can do is we can go back to just before it starts slipping away. And let's see, let's go back. It's going good here. Here it's good in this frame. Let's move, and then this frame, we can just move it a little down. This looks good. Let's go to this frame. Looks good. This one, let's see, we can move it just a little bit. Next frame, same thing. Let's just nudge it. And then we might want to nudge it. Let me undo just this one. Let's nudge it. You can see as I'm nudging it, it's changing the values on the keyframe. And then the last one. Let's bring the last one right here. Okay. So we have all the keyframes. We have the path of the basketball. Now that we have all that set up, what you're going to do is go to Apply and apply dimensions X and Y. But before we do that, just make sure that the source is clip 1, which it is, and go to Apply. Let's apply it. Now, what it does is, if we hit U, it added keyframes for the anchor point. Now, this is what we have. Now, this shot is stabilized right at the basketball. And if I toggle the transparency grid, which it was toggled on, you can see that now we have areas that are missing because everything is stabilized. If I zoom in, it's stabilized right to the basketball. So you can see if this is the center, it should be always in the center. If I draw a grid here, some guidelines, right, it'll be right in the center always. Now, what happens is now we have to make up for these missing pixels, and that's what I'll show you shortly. Now you're going to repeat this process for all of these clips. Amigos, this is the actual After Effects project that I use for the Jaime Jaquez Jr. lock-on stabilization VFX shot, and I'll just simply drag through so you can see how it looks, all the different shots stabilized, and you can clearly see that we have a lot of missing pixels. But I'm going to show you in the next step, I'm going to show you what you can do to make up for those missing pixels. Now, once you have all your clips stabilized around the ball, what you want to do is go to that composition, and let's bring it into the comp icon to create a new composition. And what we want to do is change the size of this comp. So Control K or Command K to go into the comp settings. And this is something that you'll have to play around with and figure out what is the new dimensions that will work for you. In the example that I did, I made it 600 by 750. I actually made it smaller. So in essence, what I'm doing is just simply cropping this. Now, what I'm going to do is hit Control R, Command R to bring up the rulers. Let's go to the info panel. If you don't see info, you can click on it. And I'm going to create a guide. And since the width is 600, half of that is 300. So let me, using the guide position, go ahead and make sure that it's perfectly at 300. The height is 750. Half of 750 will be 375. So I can use the guide position. Perfect. And we can also lock guides. Now, the idea here again is, first of all, we need to splice this again. So let's go splice this right here. Control Shift D. Let's keep going. Control Shift D. One more. And last one. Remember, Control or Command Shift D. Now, what we want to do is for each of these clips, we'll move it. We'll go to the selection tool. We'll move it. And we want to place the basketball. I'll make this smaller. Right in the center. Now, what we can do is we can go to the scale properties and scale this up. But before we scale it up, let's move the anchor point right to the basketball. So hit the letter Y for the pan behind tool, which is this icon. And then let's drag it, let's bring it, and it should snap. You can make it snap right here. Now that we move the anchor point, now we can scale this up. And that's one hack, one easy hack. When you don't have enough, you have missing pixels, just scale it up. You can see that right here. We're definitely going to need to come up with something for here for the bottom, but that's okay. We can probably scale it up a little more. And then we'll do the same thing for the next one. We'll move this. Let's deselect snapping. Let's move it. Y for the pan behind tool. And then we'll go to the scale. Definitely scale this up. Maybe even more. So definitely you want each shot for the ball to be right in the center. And for this one, let's move this one. V for the selection tool, we'll move it. Then Y for the pan behind tool or the anchor point. And we can scale this up as well. So that's something that you're going to have to play with and modify for each one. And for this one, we'll move it right here. We'll move the anchor point, scale this up. Right now, I'm just giving it maybe 10, 15, 20% more. And then this final one. Then hit Y for the pan behind tool, and then we can scale this up. Okay, when we play this back, let's play this back and let's see what we have. It's getting there. It's almost there. It's stabilized. We have that lock-on stabilization. We move the clip so the ball is always right in the center. It doesn't have to be in the center, but it looks great when it is. You can maybe offset it a little bit. Maybe you can put it a little higher, but make sure that from clip to clip, it's in the same spot. Okay, once you have that done, I'm going to show you some strategies that you can do to make up for those missing pixels. For the next step, let's hop into Photoshop and let's import that video file. And since it is a video, you should see this timeline panel. If you don't, simply go to Window, go to Timeline. For this example, what I'm going to do is go to frame 118. And I'm going to show you what to do in this case. Because in this shot, if I go back to After Effects, and I toggle the transparency grid, you can see that we are missing quite a few pixels right on top. And if I go to the final edit, you can see that this is the area that we need to really come up with. So this top area. We don't have to worry about the sides. We don't have to worry about the bottom. Just worry about the areas that you really need. So that's why I use this as the very last step in the process. Okay. So for this one, let's go back. Let's hop back into Photoshop. Let's go to frame 118. Let's Control A to select all. Control A, Command A to select this entire frame. Control C, Command C to copy. And then Control N, Command N for a new document. Let's create it and let's paste it in. I'm going to close this timeline. Now, what I'm going to do is basically expand this canvas and then use Photoshop Generative Fill, their AI tool, to fill in the empty pixels. So there's a couple ways you can do it. Number one is you can go to the crop tool and holding on to Alt, you can just make this bigger. Hold on to Alt so you can make this uniform. And now we can go to their new Generative Fill tool and hit Generate. And Photoshop will do its best to come up with those missing pixels. So let's see what it comes up with. Once it's done, what you can do is go to, let's see, variations, and Photoshop will give you 3 different variations. This is the first one, which doesn't look that good. This is the second one, it's even worse. And this is actually not that bad, but you can see that it'll be a little hit or miss. Now, let me show you a second method. Let me close this. Go ahead and copy this. Let's paste it into a new document again. What I like to do instead is just go to Image, Canvas Size, and we only want the top part. So what I'm going to do, just make it easy, go to the height, and let's multiply this by 2. So we just increase it by 2x, hit OK, and let me zoom out. And for the background, we can delete the background layer. Okay, hit W on the keyboard for the Magic Wand tool, which is this tool. Let's select this area. And now we only want Photoshop to work on this top area. Go to Generative Fill, hit Generate, and hopefully this will do a better job. And that's what I did for this example. And I got a pretty decent result. It took me a couple tries, but I got one that I thought could pass really quick for a couple of pixels. And you can see this looks pretty good. Remember, this is going to be maybe 4, 5, 6, 10 frames. So you don't want too much detail. It doesn't have to be perfect. This one is actually pretty good. This one we can delete. This one we can delete. And once you're done, all you have to do is just hide your layer 1. You can call this your clone. Call it clone frame 118 and save it as a Photoshop file. Back in After Effects, you're going to import that file. In my case, it is this one, J frame 118, hit import. I'm going to choose layer, my clone frame 118, and document size. Okay, so if I double click, load in the footage window, let me zoom out. This is what it is. Now let's jump into our composition. Actually, let's go to our J pre-comp, and this is the shot. Let's click Control click so we can switch from time code to frames, from time to frames. And let's go to frame 118. Now we don't want to put it right here. We want to load it right at the beginning of this clip. because it'll match up perfectly. It's right on top. Now what we can do is let's trim this layer and let's parent it using the pick whip. Let's parent it to the clip, which is the one below it, which is this one right here. Okay, now that it's parented, when we scrub this through, it should track it. And if we go to, let's hide it for now. Let's go back to our final comp. We can see that definitely at frame 111 is when we'll definitely, hold on, frame 113, we'll need to see it at least. So from 113 all the way to 122. So we can go to frame 113. Let's put the in point at 113, and then let's go to 122 up to here. So this is the area that we definitely need it. Let's bring it back. Let's unhide it. Now this works well. The shot is moving, but I think it's moving good. It doesn't slip. You might have to do some manual adjustments if your shot is moving a lot. So let's go back and let's just check it out. And you can see that that really helps out a lot. Okay, now for some shots, what I ended up doing is, for example, for this one, you see if I go to my final composition, for a couple frames, we're missing the top part, the top of their heads. So what I ended up doing was in going back to the original clip in Premiere and exporting a frame that was ahead in time. And it was this one. This was after the ball bounces off the backboard, and we can see more of their heads. And it's just a PNG, it's just a still frame, brought it in. And let me show you that shot. It's right here. I added a mask. And let me zoom in for you and show you what I did. Now this is only 3-4 frames. So what I ended up doing for this one is just manually adjusting the position of the scale for those 3-4 frames. And that's all I did. And if I zoom in, you can see that it's not even, this one, it slips here. It's not even perfect. His arm is starting to not line up. I guess he moved a little bit. But these guys over here matches pretty well. And yeah, it's just a manual adjustment for a couple frames, and it works. That's all you really need to do. And for those other cases, what I'm doing is, amigos, is just simply scaling it up. Let me go to my scale so you can see the scale properties. You can see in this one, I actually have just a little bit that I need to cover. But in this case, 130, and I added keyframes for the scale to scale down to 115. This clip was scaled up to 125. This one at 115. This clip was at 110. And then this one I cheated a little bit. It's 115 for the X, and the height is a little taller at 117. So let's put everything together, amigos. Let's check it out. Let's bring back all these. And remember, amigos, that life is truly a gift. Make it count.